Hello, everybody. This is even a more special episode of Sippin' with Steven because we're putting an extra variable in it today. We're going to be sipping suds with Steven and three of my new friends from the Louisville Ale Trail. We're going to be talking with Michael Moeller, we're going to be talking with David Satterly, and we're going to be talking with John Ronayne. I thought I was going to butcher that name, but I did not. And guys, these three fellas have done something really incredible, and they have started the Louisville Ale Trail. And I would like to give them a little bit of an opportunity to inform the Sippin' with Steven viewers what the Louisville Ale Trail is and how people can partake. So, Michael, would you start us off?
Sure, yeah. First and foremost, the Louisville Ale Trail is a brewery passport system encouraging both residents and tourists in and around Louisville to visit breweries, either new to them or maybe ones that they just don't go to that often.
Well, I know that the craft industry or the craft brewing industry has just been blowing up in Louisville. And not just in Louisville, but in the United States. But it seems like every time you turn around, there's a new cool brewery opening up that has its own identity and its own place that makes it a little bit of an individualistic experience. Is that accurate? Or are you finding that to be true?
Absolutely. If you look at some data, and I think I might even be a little off now at this point, but in the last 5 years, Louisville has grown 13 plus breweries in the city.
And are they located throughout, or are they primarily in Nulu or downtown?
A lot are popping up in the Nulu area, but even just last month, Shipping Port Brewing opened up in Portland in the West End, which is one of the first breweries west of the 9th since Prohibition, I believe.
That is super exciting because, as you may or may not know, that's a great segue. We have an exhibit opening up in August called West of 9th. That highlights that kind of separation or the divide for Louisville, which always kind of 9th Street has been the line of demarcation. So that is fabulous and very timely. So that is terrific. I see that there are passports up here. Could you tell me currently how many breweries are on the printed passport?
In this current edition, the second edition of the passport, we have 17 breweries.
That's true. Now, how would that compare to other cities that you have looked at with beer programs similar to this? Now, granted, it's going to be population driven, but are we kind of ahead of what our population is as far as breweries, or about where we should be? Or
we're getting there. We took a little time to get there, but we're finding that Louisville is currently booming.
And David, what would you think about it? Since you started in doing all this, and you were the founder of the Kentucky Beer Network. Mm-hmm. Has it progressed in a faster fashion than you thought, or about the trajectory that you thought it would be on?
I never thought that we'd have the trajectory that we have now. As Michael mentioned, there's 17 breweries in that passport. In just 2 months, we're going to add 5 more.
That is so exciting.
Incredible. And you see the same growth around the state, too.
Well, that brings us to the next topic. And first off, I want to thank you guys as members of the Ale Trail for coming on as sponsors for the first annual Frasier Beer Fest, which will be Saturday, August the 7th, as we are going to transform our parking lot into a Frasier beer garden. And to have you guys on, that brings such credibility and such sense of being part of the beer community. Thank you very much. What we're going to talk about in doing that, I guess I would ask you, John,
sure.
What made you all as an entity want to be part of the Frasier Beer Festival, if I may ask?
Sure. Well, just like we were talking about, Louisville's trajectory in beer now, that really has a historical tie-in.
Right.
Louisville used to be one of the biggest beer cities in the country, and we're kind of starting to get back there. Part of our goal is to kind of share that history with beer people. There's no better partner to do that with than Frasier. So to see that you all were getting an interest in beer and bourbon and all this good stuff that Louisville has coming together, this is going to be a freaking awesome time. There's not a better venue to have a beer festival than right back there. And, to put it back at you, we're very excited to be a part of sharing that.
Not to mention your all's most recent discovery of what happened in this building post-Prohibition.
Right. Whereas it was the first beer that was produced post-Prohibition came out of this building.
Yeah.
And that is fabulous. Our own Simon Miners did a little research. The next thing that we are going to do before we're going to make a beer cocktail, which I'm super excited about because I've never had one, and I think that's going to be fabulous. Michael's going to lead us through that. So I guess without further ado, I will say again, August the 7th, 3 to 6 in the parking lot is the beer festival. I'm sorry. VIP is from 2 to 3. It is going to have food trucks, over about 200 beers, and all kinds of fun to be had on a Saturday in August. And from a tourism standpoint, I think Louisville's about ready to kill it between bourbon tourism, beer tourism and you throw in some culinary stuff, and this is going to be the place to be. So with that said, Michael, would you tell us what we are going to drink, what you're going to make, and what we're going to showcase for our viewers?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, like you said, you usually do cocktails here, so we're happy to put our own little spin on it this time with a beer
Fabulous.
cocktail, particularly one with a recipe from Monic Beer Company in Germantown.
Yeah.
It's called Who Closed Last Night. It's a tequila and saison-based cocktail. So what we've got is our shaker. We've got some ice in there already. We're going to add in 2 ounces of tequila. We're going to add in 1 ounce of Demerara syrup, 1.5 ounces or 2 ounces of grapefruit juice, splash of raspberry puree, and I've already had the splash of lime in there as well.
Fabulous.
We're going to add
Mouth-watering.
all that together right now. Give it a good shake. And then we're going to pour some ice in here already.
That looks spectacular.
Little messy there. That's
It
all
looks
right.
very summery too. I guess the grapefruit juice gives it that kind of summertime look.
Some more ice in there. And then you're going to take your Eagle Skull Saison from Monic.
Uh-huh.
And you're just going to do a little floater in there. Just so it kind of
like a floater.
rests
There
on
you
the
go.
top there.
It looks fabulous.
And then garnish with a lime wedge. And you're good to go for a good summer drink.
Well, let me do this. I'm going to raise this up. I'm going to take a taste because that's what I do. Oh, that is spectacular. I'm going to raise a glass to the Louisville Ale Trail, to the Frasier, and to the inaugural Beer Fest on August the 7th. Guys, thank you for your time, and I look forward to maybe bending our elbow on the 7th with all of you all.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.